evening, good evening. 5 past, and I think we can get going. I will be the captain on this ship tonight. Coach Tabiso has given me the rails, and we will indeed have a great time. You're in perfectly wonderful hands. Just want to know, where are we all joining from? Where are we? You can unmute yourself or type in the chat so we all know where we are joining from. Who's your Mkaya here? Could possibly meet for coffee afterwards, you know, never know. So where are we all joining from? I'm joining from Polokwane. For one or another reason, it's actually cold. I didn't pack that many warm clothes, so I'm not having a great time. Where are you? Who are you and where are you joining from? You can just type or unmute yourself. Alisa, Anastasia, Bali, Maschaba.
Hi, Coach Sindiso. This is Mbali Timkulu. I'm joining you from Soweto in Midlands Extension 12. Thanks.
Love it. Love it. Nangumkaya already. Nombusona is also joining from Soweto. Oh, and I'm from KZN. Oh, nice. Dobsonville, Soweto. Okay. Love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Right, the session will be recorded and we'll be sharing the link with anyone who wants to have it. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Beautiful. Right, so today we're going to be speaking about mindsets for resilience and adaptability. This came up for me when I was just looking at how the one thing that seems to be constant is change. And unfortunately, we've had to be, rapidly moved to having to change post-COVID. And it's quite clear that if we want to move with the times, we have to be adaptable, we have to be resilient. This thing of, hey, this is how things have always been done. I'm not willing to change. I'm not willing to do this and that. Is not flying, in the corporate space, be it in society, in our homes. This idea of this is how things have always been done is just not working. Parenting, our children are questioning now. There's a Y generation, but why must I do that? Why must I go there? Why? What's the point? We want to know why things are done a certain way, For instance, I grew up and my grandmother was always telling me, when you drink coffee, when you drink coffee or you drink tea, you must fill it up to the brim. Because if you leave just a little bit of space, that means all these men here are going to have their way with you. They'll all come and taste. They'll literally go spoon and taste. But if you fill it up, they'll marry you. I don't know if that was right, if it was not right. But, maybe she had a point because that happened for me. I don't know. I'm just joking. But that made me realize that if we don't get into the culture of adapting and being resilient, had my grandmother not said, this is the reason why I'm saying you should do this, had she just said, no, do that. And when I asked her why, then she's like, that's just how it's been done. I wouldn't know. But because now she adapted this idea of being adaptable in this changing world, where now children want to know why we're doing certain things, she was able to answer me. And whenever we are faced with challenges, anything in any space or any sphere in your life, you've got 3 choices. It's either you can ignore, accept, or change. Okay, my network is a bit unstable. Am I back now?
Yes,
Okay,
you are.
perfect. Sorry about that. So I'm in a different place. My Wi-Fi is, yeah, if anything happens, please just bear with me. Right? So when we're faced with challenges, we have three options. We either can ignore, accept, or change. And if we really want to embrace the idea of change, we need to embrace the idea of adaptability and resilience. Adaptability not being a trait, but a state that we can practice over time. So research has been done and they found that if you really embrace adaptability, it's not a trait that you can have. It's not something that is a by the way factor. It's a state that you can operate from. It's a state that you need to practice and harness over time, which gets stronger and allows you to move through change freely, So this idea of adaptability is not something that is far-fetched. It's something that we can embrace and operate from if we really want to embrace change. There's a beautiful quote by the Gautama Buddha that says, change is unavoidable. Loss is unavoidable. Yet it is in the adaptability and ease in which we experience change that lies our true happiness and freedom. So unfortunately, we can't change that change is going to be there. There's no way that we can avoid change. There's no way that we can avoid loss. It's still going to happen. We're going to lose people. We're going to lose things. We're going to lose assets. We're going to lose attachments. We're going to lose people in our lives. We're going to change. The environment is going to change. Things are going to happen in our environment and in our lives that completely throw the spanner in the works. Yet it's in how we embrace it. It's in how we choose to operate from a state of adaptability and ease in which we experience our true happiness and freedom. This simply says that if you can adapt that mindset, if you can adopt that mindset of adaptability, you can experience happiness and freedom because it allows you to go through change with ease. It allows you to go through change with poise because it's unavoidable. There's absolutely nothing I can do about change. All I can do is simply adapt and build resilience throughout it. Right. And now we start realizing that things that influence adaptability and resilience are mindsets, how we think. And how we think is based on how we were raised, what were all the ideologies that were given to us? What culture, what religion do we subscribe to? Who are we? What are all our values and our beliefs? Those are things that comprise our mindset. And now when we're looking at adaptability and we're looking at resilience, we realize how we perceive and respond to the world influences how we react or how we interact with others and ourselves. These mindsets can either enhance our experience of life or they can limit us because how we're thinking and how we are seeing the world, how we perceive the world in essence, in NLP we say the map. Your map, your mindsets, these are things that will either limit you or they will enhance your experience of life because how you see one thing determines how you'll interact with it. If I come here and I have a preconceived idea that everyone here is just ridiculous and they have nothing else better to do, how I show up here is going to be completely different than if I believe that everyone who's here is passionate about self-development, is passionate about enhancing their experience of life because they are willing to spend an hour and a half in a session, right? If I come with that mindset, how I interact with you and myself is completely different. It means I'm going to spend more time preparing for today. It means I'm going to try and explain in as much detail as I can what I'm trying to get to you so you understand it and you're able to adopt it and really, 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 really implement it in your life. So these are mindsets that can limit us. I think I'm back. Sorry, I'm going to need someone to tell me when I'm back and I'm off because I feel like I'm freezing. Can you all hear me? Am I still okay? Perfect. So these are mindsets that can either limit us or they can help us grow. There are types of limiting mindsets, right? People with a fixed mindset. A challenge is a test that I can pass or fail based on my inherent abilities. If I am not already good at something, I will not be able to do it. So this is a fixed mindset. It's either A or B. There's no in between. If there's a challenge that I'm faced with, it's either I can win or I lose. It's either I fail a test or I pass at it, right? So this is a mindset that doesn't allow for any mistakes. It doesn't allow for any failure. It doesn't allow for any opportunity for you to be able to grow and learn. It simply says it's either this or that. If I'm not doing it, there's no other way that I can do it. There's no other opportunity for me to grow or learn how to do this thing, right? An expert mindset. I should already know the answer and be able to do something. I don't know if you've ever experienced those people, especially in the workspace. No, I know it. And you ask a question and they'll even faff around now trying to find the answer because now they have to seem like an expert. People who never want to be wrong. No, man, this is just, actually, that's what I know. That's what it is. I know this to be the truth and that's it. I know the answer and I'm not willing to listen to you. There was a lady who called me just, I think 2 days ago or a day ago, saying that she's working in a school, she's quite young. There are older educators who simply just don't want to hear anything. So even if you want to answer something, they just say, no, that is not true, that is not correct. This is the answer. This is what we know. So you are showing up as an expert, which unfortunately will limit your learning because you are in a space, there are younger people, yes, indeed, but that doesn't mean that they can't have answers. In fact, these people went through the same degree that you went through. But if you come into different spaces with that mindset, I am an expert, you limit yourself because you come and there is no chance or room for growing. You don't come with a curiosity mindset. Oh, I'd like to know how that works. Or I'd like to know your viewpoint, or the victim mentality. The third one is the victim mentality. There are forces beyond my control that influence my ability to thrive, grow, and get things done. Those people who are constantly throwing a pity party, always something wrong, always something that is going horribly wrong, and there's absolutely nothing that anyone can do with them. Even if you try and give them options, okay, can you do this? I don't think so because my son won't want to come. Okay, but maybe you can, try this. You can try a different route. You can try a different mode of transportation. Yeah, but a bus is not safe, okay, maybe you can walk with your son. You're walking at 5 a.m. It's not, this is someone who is just saying this, I am limited and nothing can be done. Things are beyond my control and I'm not even willing to look at anything else. I'm consistently going to find something wrong and I'm going to stay in that state that allows me to be a victim. And even if you try and come to me with a different solution, I'm just not going to budge because it's not working for me, right? The fourth one, a scarcity mindset. A challenge typically involves limited resources or hard win-win trade-offs that must be made. I've been speaking about how everyone is consistently saying that, oh, money is not there. You tell it, I doing this. It's so draining to be around people who operate from a scarcity mindset because we have to save, and there's nothing wrong with saving. There's nothing, and this doesn't encourage being irresponsible. But I have a problem with being or operating from a scarcity mindset, saying, no, this thing is just not out there. It doesn't exist because it doesn't allow for you to be able to attract those things into your life because you've already said it doesn't exist. It's not there. And in NLP, we've already discovered that There's a part in your brain, which is called your reticular activating system, that is there to prove you right. It is there to find evidence for you. So the minute that you say that this thing is non-existent or it's scarce, you are looking for proof to prove you right. You go out there and you see people hungry. You go out there and you look at the inflation, you look at the prices and you're like, everything is just going to the ground. There's no money. We'll never have money again. We're headed to a recession. And it limits you. It limits your idea of even trying to, grow yourself or potentially start a business or do something else, because you're fully convinced that there is scarcity around you. And I hope you guys can see how limiting these beliefs are, how limiting these mindsets are, and how often we find ourselves in those mindsets. And it might not just be that you operate from one mindset in all areas of your lives, but you can think of instances and places in your life where you operate from a fixed mindset, where that's just how things are done. An expert mindset where you show up as a mom, I'm a teacher, I am this, I am that, so you're not going to tell me anything. Or a victim where you're just, oh my goodness, things are just horrible and they're bad and nothing can be done about it. Or the scarcity mindset where, we don't have enough of this, you don't use too much of that, it's gone, it's going to be finished, we don't have enough, and the last one being the protection mindset. I need to prevent something bad from happening. I need to do these things so that something bad doesn't happen. I need to now go and put in there's a lady who has an electric fence on the roof. And I don't blame her, they've been stealing her solar panels, right? But that's an extreme example. But those are things that we do to protect ourselves. It goes even to the simple things where I can't do this. I can't walk out before doing this and this and this. I need to protect myself from something bad happening. I need to pray before, which are all good and well. They are all good and well. But if you cannot do things, if it keeps you from doing things that you truly want to do, or it limits your time to do things that you really want to do, it starts being a problem, because now it's, hey, I need to protect this from happening. Your children are living in this fear of, oh my goodness, something bad is going to happen. They can't even go for practice with whoever else. They can't even do this and that because of this protection mindset, which is perfect. It's good. We need to, operate from a cautious place, but also not in a way that it limits us, not in a way that it keeps us from doing things that we truly want to do. With this, I simply want to make you aware that there are things that we have in place that protect us, that keep us in a place where we don't really have to take responsibility but these are things that limit us. These are things that limit how we experience life, and they limit our growth. These are things that, they're all good. Like I'm saying, it's not that I'm here to judge them and shun upon them. They're good, and they have a particular context in which they work, in which they serve you. But it's realizing all those different contexts in which they limit you, which is important from here, that you understand from these mindsets. Not that you shouldn't be an expert, you shouldn't show up as one. There are times and places where you should, because you're an expert in a certain field. But there are times where you need to show up as a learner, as a student, as a sponge who is willing to learn and be a student of life. I made an example just today, and I was saying, I am so open to other cultures and different ethnicities that it's allowed me to know, not even the whole language, but different key words in languages that have allowed me to develop connections that I probably wouldn't have ever done had I not allowed myself that, to be a sponge in certain instances where I'm like, oh, what are you? Where do you come from? Are you from Zimbabwe? And with the negative connotations we have towards Zimbabweans or foreigners, I could easily say, I've got nothing to do with them. But if I'm truly curious about, where do you come from? Which area do you come from? I've heard there's is this tribe, the Ndau, you know, the Kwerekweres, and where do you come from? What language do you speak? It's allowed me to move on with life. When I get into an Uber, there's a Shona guy who's there, and I'm like, oh, Makadi. And it's like, oh, how do you know Shona? With just that one word that I learned from somewhere because of my curiosity, I've enhanced my experience of life, because there are people who are willing to go far and beyond just because I know one or two words of their language. So just understanding how differently we can start experiencing life if we truly allow and adopt these mindsets that, you know, allow us to grow. Whereas if we are fixated on things, if we want to show up as you know, experts or victims, or we're operating from a scarcity mindset, we truly just limit our growth and our ability to experience life with ease and joy and glory. So I'm going to ask you, to just answer a few questions, right? I'm going to ask you to answer a few questions. Which we'll do here in class. For the next exercise, we'll then go into our breakout rooms. I want you to think of a time, now that we've gone through these limiting or these unresourceful mindsets, I want you to think of a time where you operated from one of these mindsets, or a different one, a mindset that did not allow of growth, a mindset that limited you in experience. I just simply want you to think back to a time when you operated from a mindset that wasn't particularly helpful, right? And once you have that, I want you to answer a few questions for me. What were you thinking and feeling in that moment, right? So think of a time that you operated from a unhelpful mindset, a mindset that was not serving you. What were you thinking and feeling? How are you behaving? And how did it impact others and yourself? Are we all clear? Please just either give me a thumbs up or just note it down in the chat that you've heard me. I'll give you about 10 minutes for that. A time in your life where you operated from an unhelpful mindset. What were you thinking and feeling, and how did it impact you and others? Are we all clear? Yes, yes. Lost me. Did you guys hear the instruction? Okay, so I'll just repeat. I need you, or I'm asking that you please think of a time in your life where you operated from a mindset that limited you. You can either use from the examples that I've made or anyone that comes up for you, but something that kept you from experiencing change or that limited you in how you were thinking. And just write what you were thinking and feeling, how you were behaving, and how it impacted you and those around you. Please type done when you are finished. Okay. Nkuli, are you able to share your answers with us? I see you had responded about the scarcity mindset.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Nkulu Ram. Yeah, for me, it really happens every month, and I see that it's a repetitive, mindset that I encounter every month when I do groceries. So obviously, I don't like, and I'm aware, because everything that I do, like, I'm always aware of my my behavior. So it makes me feel scared sometimes, with how things are increasing in prices and things like that. And I become nervous and I complain a lot. I also complain, to my kids, but you know what, guys, things are expensive, let's just be cautious with how we use things. And as much as I know and understand that that is a scarcity mentality, continue doing it. But I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm just.
So are you able to identify how you feel, how you think in that
Yeah,
moment?
man, it makes me feel bad to them because, I'm always moody. After my grocery shopping, I'm so moody. And I do not talk to them. Sometimes I shout, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not nice. It's not nice. So, but I am aware of it, and
Yes.
I'm working on it as well. So yeah.
No, don't worry. We'll definitely, it'll be solved by today. Don't you worry, in the right place. How does it impact you? And I mean, you've touched on how it impacts your children.
Yeah, no, it does, because then they feel that because we once had a period where we were really struggling, things were not going well, and they feel that, they will go back to that state where things were not going well and we were poor and I was broke. And they think when I, complain a lot, they think, are we now poor again? So I said, no, we are not poor, but we just need to be cautious because things are just, going up and up and up. So yeah, but we'll get it right. We'll get it right.
Most definitely. Thank you for sharing, Guli. Thank you. Thank you. It takes a lot of awareness to be aware of that, even as you're doing it, and it's not just you reflecting on it right now. So it takes a lot of awareness. Luckily, you're in the right place. We're going to deal with that as we go on. Mbali, would you like to share? So I've read your response there, but I'd love to hear from you.
Hi, Coach Sindiso. My issue was it's actually conditioning, my mindset conditioning. I think so, or it's fixed. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But because of how we were brought up and society and stuff, people were generally, including myself, judgmental to people who have tats. It was associated with evilness. It was associated with, how people think you, it's not the right word to use, but cheap, And when it happened to my kids, I'm a single parent with 4 girls, and the eldest, I felt that she was disobeying me, or she was rebellious, because it happened just after her teens. She came back home with tat, and the youngest one then, she was still in crash, and she says, "Mommy, did you see your daughter? She has evil conditions." That on its own, when I'm looking back, it shows what impact that judgment has had on my other kids. It's not only me or the society, but it's now going down to the siblings as well. So I'm still struggling with the test, because it's not my preference, but I have learned that it is the way she expresses herself, and I did nothing wrong in bringing them up. It's just her choices and her preferences. It's got nothing to do with their upbringing or what I have envisaged their lives. So at the end of the day, that put a lot of pressure in our relationship. That at some point we weren't even speaking to each other because then, you know how once you start seeing something wrong in someone, there's more wrongs that you see, and we were just not aligned, you know. Until I realized that, you know, maybe I have to actually also look at myself. In terms of why this relationship, why are we always at loggerheads, me and her? And I saw that it started from those early days where instead of being understanding or trying to find out what led her to that creative part of hers or to that preference, what difference could I have made? You know, how could I have better responded to the text instead of seeing it as a rebellious outspit or a rebellious behavior. So it came to a point where I did my own shadow work, and I realized that I lacked as a parent in terms of I should have given her unconditional love and acceptance, and got to understand her. And since I have done that, we have grown closer, and the relationship has been on the mend, and it's getting better every day.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. But you touched on so many key factors there with just mindset, you know, and how it literally goes down from generation to generation to generation to generation, because it's how we're raised. And that's why I said mindsets come from that. It comes from how we were raised, the culture we're in, you know, the religion we subscribe to, things that we deem important. That's what comprises our reality, and that obviously influences our mindsets and how we think and how we see and perceive the world. So if you are thinking that in one way or another, you communicate that with your children because they're raised in a certain environment, there are certain values and beliefs in this home, and if you have this, then you are that. But then also how limiting these mindsets are. It's limited you in such a way that your relationship with your daughter was estranged. You know, you literally felt like this person is being rebellious. It is a reflection of me. You know, I have done bad. So now there's self-shaming there, there's guilt there that you are dealing with just because she had a tattoo done. You know, and I mean, you speak to people who have tattoos and they say it's an outlet. It's me putting myself out there. You know, it's me saying how proud I am of myself, or it's a memoir of some sort. You know, I love someone and I want to put their name on me, or whatever. It's a sign of remembrance. It's a sign of expression. It's not, it limits you because in that moment you could have asked and been curious. What made you do it? You know, what purpose does it serve? How does it serve you having this? How do you feel when you have this? What drove you to doing it? Instead, it limited you because it pulled you away from her. The two of you were estranged. So I love that you touched on that. One, how mindsets are not just ours. You know, it's not just my mindset. It's not just my own fixed mindset or my own scarcity mindset. I then give it to my children. And it's something I realized as well. My dad has always operated from an abundance mindset. I've never even once heard my dad saying, you know, complaining about money or that there's no money. Whereas my mom on the other side, she was constantly complaining, hey, Malaiko, hey, this and this and this and this and this. So I grew up with this, like, is the money there or is it not? Like, it was just so confusing. Like, do we have, like, what's going on? Is the money there or is it not? And it left me in that I don't know, am I here or am I there? And I find myself dancing with that. You know, there's a part of me that wants to really get the things that I want to get, but there's a part of me that's so afraid of doing that. You know, I actually had to do a process on that because I'm like, yo, man, we just need to hold on. You know, the money is there, sure, but let's hold on. And then there's a part of me that says, oh no, let's get the nice things. Let's enjoy life. Let's go out and do this and do that. So I'm constantly in between these two minds where I'm like, do I really want to do it? Or, you know, it's that. And it's because I was raised in a home where there were these conflicting mindsets. So now I grow up with that, you know, and I'm here now and I'm feeling this way. And it influences, it affects how I show up in my family, because I'm always like, can't we get it maybe next month? You know, the money is here. So we will have the money is there, but I'm like, man, can't we just wait for another payment and then we'll do it? Because I'm like, no, I just want to be sure we're still okay. But there's also times where I'm like, oh no, hi do, let's go for it. Let's do it. What are we doing? Where are we going? I'm in. So I'm caught between these two things. And it limits me because there are times when I really want something and I can't get it, you know? So it's being aware how our mindsets as parents as well, how our mindsets will influence our children and how they could potentially limit how we interact with them. I think Guli was sharing as well, be aware of how their relationship with money or, you know, grocery shopping and whatever might be affected because of that. Because whenever we've been going to the grocery store, mama gets angry, mama is not happy, you know, mama reacts a certain way. So there's something that's off between us leaving home and going for grocery shopping. So it's just being aware of those things and how our mindsets don't just impact us, they impact others. Hence the question, how did that impact you and the people around you? Right. Can we take one more person? If not, then we can move. Anyone? Okay. We are going to move to growth mindsets. These are obviously contrary to the limiting, okay. These are contrary to the limiting mindsets. These are mindsets that allow for us to grow, to experience life in fullness, to experience life with ease, with joy and glory. So the first growth mindset is just that, the growth mindset. I can learn to do anything that I want, right? Challenges and mistakes are opportunities for learning and development. Challenges and mistakes are opportunities for learning and development. In NLP, we say there's no failure, only feedback. If I write a test today and I get 50%, or I get 45%, what does it tell me? It doesn't tell me I failed. It doesn't say, no, you failed, you've done wrong. There's nothing else you can do about this. It says, okay, you kind of need to go and focus on 65% of this content that you have. You need to go now and focus on this. You still have the ability to learn, to grow from this feedback that you're receiving. And feedback feels more easy. It's easier to digest. Failure feels hard. It's a hard word to swallow. It's like, there's nothing I can do about it. But feedback says, oh, I can breathe. I can do something. I can do something about it. I don't know if you've ever felt relief from the knowing or the knowledge that something can be done. You know, there's nothing more defeating than when you go to the doctor's office and the doctor's office say, we can't do anything. The first question is, okay, there's this problem that we found, and you'll say, okay, but what can we do? So as humans, we have that within us. It's an inherent thing that we have where we want to know how better can we do it? What else can we do? What other options do we have? Coach Tabitha was always saying that if people really believed in the idea of failure, if humans really believed in the idea of failure, we wouldn't be walking, we'd all be crawling, because the minute that we tried walking, we would have fallen and given up. So within us, there is this thing of learning, of wanting to learn, of wanting to grow, of wanting to explore, or else we'd all just be miniature versions of ourselves crawling around because there's absolutely no growth. There's absolutely no room for growth. But because we have that within us, we have grown. But as we grow and things happen to us, and we develop these limiting beliefs, we start thinking and we start believing in the concept of failure, or the idea that we can't grow or learn from something, right? The second one there that we have is the curious mindset. I'm going to ask a lot of options. I'm going to explore, and I can learn a lot from trying something new. I think I spoke about it earlier, about how my curiosity for different cultures, for different ethnicities, has allowed me to interact with people differently, because I want to know, oh, okay, where do you come from? Which part do you come from? What do you speak? And. Because I'm consistently asking questions, I'm consistently exploring, it enhances my experience of life. It enhances my experience of the world, because I'm curious. There's nothing more detrimental to a person's growth or development than losing curiosity. And it's something that children have as well. Children are so curious. That's why they've always been, and the why thing is not that it's something that's only coming up now. Because it was so silenced in previous generations, it kind of just got to a point where it's like, it's fine, we're not even going to bother. But because the environment and the society we live in currently is accepting of that and it's encouraging of that, that's why children feel more okay with asking the why questions or being curious. But that is something we all have. As children, we were all curious. We wanted to know, oh, what's that? What's happening there? Because you have such a wild imagination, you're able to ask questions, you're able to be curious because you just want to know, oh, what's that? What's happening? Funny enough, as a child, we'd always drive from Secunda to Amelo. And in Bethel, there's like a milk farm. So they're these white and black cows, these black and white cows that are always there. So every single time we used to pass there, I would note that these cows are standing a certain way. Like it almost seemed like they were always in one stationary position, like they'd never move. And I was like, Dad, so these cows, they don't move. And he was like, actually, no, I don't know. I've never really focused on that. But because I was curious, we actually had a conversation about it. And he was like, well, it seems like they're always standing there. I wonder if they actually move. Do they ever go elsewhere? And we had a whole conversation about it. But because I was curious, we were able to go there. So it shows you the importance of being curious, because you can learn, you can question certain things, and it makes you aware of things that you weren't even aware of. When somebody asks you a question, they really have to think back and be like, oh, actually, if they know the answer, if they don't, then you explore it together, right? An agent mindset. With reason, I believe in my ability to learn, overcome challenges, and accomplish just about anything that I put my mind to. I'm an agent of change. I'm a conduit, I have the ability to learn, I have the ability to overcome challenges and accomplish just about anything that I want to do. These are people who are change makers. If you've ever interacted with someone who they'll say is in an abundance mindset, or someone who operates from a very, I can do anything type of thing. These are people who are consistently willing to learn, to overcome challenges. Okay. Those are people, oh, sorry, my goodness. Those are all people who believe that they can do things, things can be done. Sorry about that, I just got a bit thrown off. So things can be done. I'm a change maker, I'm an agent of change. There are people who truly believe that the sky is the limit, the sky up there is the limit. They can do just about anything that they put their mind to. I had a session the other day with a guy who's doing really well for himself, and whenever I asked him, I think I asked him a question about, okay, but what makes you so sure that you can do this? Like what makes you so confident that you can do this? And he was like, I can. I can do it because I had the thought. The thought came to me, so it means I can do it. That's my approach to life. If the thought comes to me, then I can do it. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. Just feedback. I can try it differently. But it's just being aware of that you have the ability to do things. You have the ability to learn, to overcome challenges, and do whatever it is that you put your mind to. Because how else was anyone else, able to do it? You look at Elon Musk. Elon Musk is from Pretoria. There's a few people here from Pretoria. He came from Pretoria. He was a misfit in the school system. He didn't like school. He left school, but he was able to create such a success for himself. Why? Because he put his mind to it. Had he been limited by the fact that school wasn't for him, that he didn't really, connect with the idea of school, he would have said, oh my goodness, if I'm not educated, I can't do anything with my life, and probably stayed in Pretoria, and. But because he had that mindset of being an agent, he was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to change the world. I'm going to revolutionize technology. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. That is being an agent of change, or having an agent mindset. Right. The abundance mindset. Okay, sorry about that. My screen was just, okay, I'm going to share my screen again. Okay. The abundance mindset. A challenge is typically a potential win-win situation looking to be discovered, right? So if I'm operating from an abundance mindset, if I truly believe and I understand, you know what? There is limitless resources out there. I'm a limitless being. I am a spiritual being, having an experience. I can manifest or think things that I want to think, therefore attract things that I want in my life. A challenge is just a win-win situation. It's simply coming to teach me something. I learn from it, and that's me discovering how I can turn this into an abundance opportunity, how I can turn this into a learning and something I can apply in this area of my life, but different areas of my life as well. The opportunity mindset. I could make something great happen. There's an opportunity out there. There is an opportunity for me to do something great. There's an opportunity for me to grow in this time. There is an opportunity. I'm going to type something in the chat here, and I want you guys to tell me what you see. All right, so please just unmute yourselves and tell me what you see. Okay. Right. What do you see there? Please just unmute yourself.
Opportunities are now here.
Okay, anyone else?
Same for me, opportunities are now here.
Beautiful. Anyone else? What does anyone else see?
Opportunities are now here.
Okay, so we all see opportunities are now here. Did anyone see opportunities are nowhere? Yes. Did anyone see opportunities are nowhere?
I don't know. I'm not seeing. I think maybe it's my network. It's delayed.
Oh, you can't see the.
Yeah. I still see the growth mindset points. Maybe it's just my network.
No, just go to the chats. The chats, the chat box down there. It's not on the screen. It's in your chats down there. Sharing just a bit easier. All able to see? I see both. Okay. So both are there. But I love that. I love that most of you guys were able to see that opportunities are here. You know, usually people see that opportunities are nowhere. And that's simply based on where your RAS is. I mentioned the RAS earlier, which is a part or a gland in your brain that is there to look for evidence for you. So if you believe that opportunities are nowhere, then chances are you would have seen that. But if you believe you're out on the look for opportunities, you're someone who's saying, hey, there's a lot of opportunities out there. I can grow, I can expand, you know, I can put myself out there. There's always another opportunity. There's always another way to get things done. Then you saw opportunities are here. If you see both, well, I guess you're a mixture of both. You're somewhere in between. But that lets us know that if you're operating from a growth mindset, you know, if there's a setback and you're retrenched from work, which happened to a lot of people during COVID, instead of being a victim and saying, oh my goodness, you know, things are bad and I've been retrenched and I'm just going to stay in bed all day, you can say, hey, opportunities are here. There's so many other opportunities here. You know, I can make the opportunity for myself. I can put myself out there. I can do this, I can do that. Finding different ways to get to where you want to get to because you believe in the idea or, you know, the ideology of opportunities, that opportunities are there, they are vast and they are abundant. I don't know if you guys can see the difference between the limiting mindsets and the growth mindsets and how they could potentially drastically change our lives, how they could really, really influence how we show up. If I'm coming here and I believe that opportunities are vast and they are far and they are beyond and I'm going to show up as someone who is ready, who is an agent of change. You know, I'm going to be an agent of change because I believe that there are many opportunities there. I'm not just limited to what my family can offer me. I'm not just limited to what the government can offer me. You know, the youth, hey, the government is not doing enough. You know, we need to strike because the government, you know, it's Cyril's fault, it's whoever else's fault. But if there are opportunities out there, Cyril is not going to do anything for me. What is Sindiso going to do for herself? You know, Mahoshi, what are you going to do for yourself? Hey, are you going to find pageants that you're going to go to? Are you going to win them? Mm-hmm. Am I back? Yes. Okay, sorry. my internet is really unstable. Okay, so if you're operating from that, I was making an example with Mahoshi. If she waits, oh, the premier, you know, one day, you know, he'll come and make an opportunity for me, then chances are you're not going to go and join a pageant of some sort and, you know, potentially win it or even make it to, you know, the semi-final and. But once you get there, you're able to create even more opportunities for yourself because chances are the MSc or the premier is there, you know, to give off the crown or whatever else it is that they're doing. That will potentially open more opportunities for you. So if you're an agent of change or someone who's operating from an opportunity mindset, everything is an opportunity to grow. A challenge is an opportunity to grow. You know, you going somewhere, you going to an event is an opportunity for you to grow because you're going to be networking with different people. You going to a family event is an opportunity for you to put yourself out there. Everything starts becoming an opportunity. I mean, just this course that we're running it at a loss in Polokwane, but we had to get to a point where we're saying, we're going to make lemonade out of this. If it means we're taking as much videos as we can. Let's do that. If it means we're like intentionally communicating with the people who did make it here to see how else we can, you know, grow and expand with them, then let's do that. But we are going to make it an opportunity for us to grow. I mean, it's not nice, the fact that, you know, now we're operating at a loss but it means we can grow. I mean, there are people who literally make a loss every month simply to market their business. There are people who are willing to pay for accommodation, pay for a venue, you know, pay for food for people to simply market their business. So if we can see it as an opportunity, okay, sure, things didn't work out how we wanted them to, but let's look at it as an opportunity to now start, you know, marketing ourselves, an opportunity to now start taking content of face-to-face, because we haven't had a face-to-face class in a while, an opportunity to now start, you know, marketing our power hours. It's become an opportunity, and how we are showing up is of that, because we are showing up and we know we are intentional about what we are doing. But had we been there and said, oh my goodness, people didn't come, you know, this one day they're going to join and now they didn't, how are we going to show up? Right? That simply makes us aware of these different mindsets and how they influence or impact our lives. Right? So now that we've learned a bit about growth mindsets, I'm going to ask Sue to please go through this quickly. I'm going to share my screen again, and this is an exercise that you will do in breakout rooms. Luckily, we have an intimate group, so it won't be that hard to create them. Right, so I want you to think of a time that you operated in a mindset that was helpful in you overcoming a challenge, right? So what were you thinking and feeling in that moment? How did you behave? What beliefs did you hold? What was important for you in that moment, right? So you're going to think of a time when you applied either one of these mindsets that I've spoken about, or a different one that you can think of that really helped you in a challenging time, a mindset that you applied in your life that really, really helped you, right? In a challenge that you were facing. And I want you to think about what you were thinking and feeling, right? How are you behaving when you had this mindset, when you were thinking in this way? What beliefs did you hold? And what was important for you in that moment? And once you've got that, I want you to apply this strategy. So whatever answer that you get here, I want you to apply this strategy in the previous one. So where you're operating from a limited mindset, when Nguli and Bali shared. Once you've gotten these answers, I want you to apply that strategy to the previous one, right? And then note what difference it would have made had you applied this strategy. Then note what difference would it make if you apply it in different areas of your life in the future. Right? Is that clear? You can either take a picture. I would suggest that you take a picture, in fact, so you and your partner are able to know what is required. So you basically identify a time in your life where you operated from a growth mindset to a mindset that was helpful in you overcoming a challenge. What were you thinking and feeling? How did you behave? What beliefs did you hold? What was important for you in that moment? I want you to please okay, that noted. I'm going to put you in breakout rooms for this. exercise. Right? So I simply want you to think of a time in your life that you operated from a mindset that was helpful. So a mindset where you were operating from a growth mindset. This was a mindset that was helping you. It helped you overcome a challenge that you were facing. Just simply think of a time where you were there. And you were either driven by opportunity, you were driven by abundance, you were driven by being an agent of change. See what you see, hear what you heard, and feel what you felt. So as you're there and you're operating from this mindset, see what you see, hear what you heard, and feel what you felt. What were you thinking and feeling? How did you behave? What beliefs did you hold? What was important for you in that? Right, I'm going to open the breakout rooms in a second. Okay, while I open the breakout rooms, can we share some feedback on just that experience before we go into the breakout room? How did you find that experience? Okay, this will show me come back. We all have the steps. Was anyone?
Do we join now?
Yes, We're all clear on what we're doing in the breakout rooms? Do we have the steps? Okay. How was that experience? Makoshi, how was your experience?
I was actually about to unmute myself. So just know that it worked if I unmuted myself. So it was really good. Thank you for that. It was I needed that. Yeah.
Can you share what you realized when you were in that growth mindset, you know, what you were thinking, your behaviors, and how different the previous mindset was?
I think the previous one was, I think it was frustrating me because I knew of, the current one, the one we started with, was frustrating me because I knew of the previous one, but I just couldn't tap into that again. And don't take it for granted when I say that I unmuted and I'm speaking because of what this exercise has done, because it is a part of my life where the one that I had to go back to, where I was content, and not that everything was going right, but I always loved the lessons in it. I was always curious of what lesson I'm going to learn from it. I was always curious of how I'm going to turn out after that lesson. My confidence really lied in me, and it was not in comparison with anyone else around me. I was comfortable with myself, regardless of the so-called good or bad, or the things I'm satisfied with or not. So I was just content in me as a being. And I'm glad I went there. I really am glad I went there. You know, I think before it was just a mess. I wasn't speaking before this for a reason. So I'm not one to keep quiet or not share. Not that I talk too much, but one not to interact. So thanks for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Tells me I did something right. So thank you. I'm glad. I'm so happy. I'm really, really happy, and I love how intimate this group is, and how really everyone grasps the concept. And the fact that you say that this is why you were able to speak, you know, it says a lot. So thank you. Thank you for allowing yourself to go there. Thank you for allowing me to take you there. It's always such an honor to know that you've made the difference that makes a difference in someone's lives. Coach Anastasia, Pumlani, I don't know if you're able to go through the whole.
Coach Sindiso, hi. I couldn't join in the room. I don't know. It was just, posting me in. But I'm sorry for the coach that I was supposed to be discussing with. That as I was doing and reflecting myself on the process. Mainly my challenge, where I found myself being resourceful to myself and overcoming the challenge, it was the time that I was in the university and I fell pregnant, and I was only 21 years old. And at that time, the thing that made me survive the challenge, it was believing in myself that I can make it. And one important thing was realizing that because now I am expecting a human being, I have to grow a nerve and a responsibility to take care of that human being. Honestly, it took me longer to get to my graduation date, but I was so determined that that day will come, and indeed it did. Yes, so that is one thing that I found myself very resourceful. At the time, you know, when I became pregnant, I at the same time lost my scholarship. So it was not only the challenge of the pregnancy, but also the financial status, because I was away from home. So in that also, I had to look for now piece jobs to survive. I did babysitting, I did waitressing, I did hotel cleaning, and I took care of old people just to know that this is something that I want to achieve, and I'm not gonna go home without my degree. And that was one big thing that I found myself resourceful. Now, when I see my situation from the previous exercise now, with the limiting and the scarcity mentality or mindset, it comes now to the recent, next to the COVID period, where I was now out of work. I still am, and am challenged. I think I still have a bit of scarcity mindset, because I'm thinking I don't have money. As a result, I'm not managing so many other things like marketing my practice, paying up my account with subconscious frequency, you know, getting everything that need update with my account. So I am in that state to some degree, that I am operating out of the scarcity mentality. But now that we're doing this exercise to say, take the same strategy back to the time that you succeeded. I'm just saying to myself today, even saying, if I get just a little bit, I'll start a small business to here at home, you know, just regular things that I can sell daily, so that at least I've got petty cash whilst I'm building up the practice, the marketing thing, and then getting to, because clientele now, it is still just starting up. And my mind is, it is going to work. People will know about me, and people will come, and I will effect change in their lives.
I love it. I love it.
Yes. So thank you for reminding us, because I have been so distant and in my own cocoon of, you know, scarcity mentality. Where do I get money? How do I get by this thing? But you know, when you get in the frequency of people who can activate that mind, that's where I am at now, and I'm thankful and grateful. Thank you.
Beautiful. I can't remember where I heard it, but it says that if you are in the space or in the same environment with someone who is vibrating on a high frequency, your energy goes up, I think it's about 70%. And if you are in the environment with someone who's like, you know, on a low frequency, it goes to minus, I think, something. So that's why you feel drained when you're people who are drained. That's why you feel energized.
Yeah.
You know, with people who are giving you solutions. As for the subconscious frequency account, I'm not expecting that. I really wasn't. But yes, we are glad to know that we did something about that. Hey, thank you. I love it, my coach. Thank you. Pumlani, are you in a space to share? I don't know if you're able to go through the whole exercise. The feedback obviously helps with you being aware of how differently it impacted everyone, what are the challenges that people are facing and how they were able to overcome them. Pumlani, were you able to go through the whole thing?
Yes, Coach. Maybe I can share one or two things in this lesson of yours.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe for myself, as you speak about this different opportunity mindset, I'm taking it as a law of attraction to myself. Yes. So, when COVID came, I was self-employed. I was working on myself, doing some sort of business. So then COVID came, then hit it everyone, as we all know. Then after that, I was so down, I was so negative. Then I got some piece job in Kawash.
Okay.
When I got this piece job in Kawash, I bought myself a book. It's called 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Then there I found this law called law of attraction. From there, I had this positivity mind that I will get a job someday. From there, I did some certificates. I moved from here because I'm in KZN in Newcastle. I moved from here to Mpumalanga. I got a job. From there, another job came to me here in Newcastle, a better job than the one I was doing in Mpumalanga. Then from there, I moved from there to this side. So I take it as it's like that, like a law of attraction, positivity mind, as we are speaking about this different mindset. That's what I can share so far.
Wow, I love it. I love it. And the essence is there's this one thing that is explained differently based on different cultures or different spiritual principles, like the law of attraction. The Buddhists will speak about that, but it's actually proven. There's a part in your brain that literally looks for evidence to prove you right. So if you're here and you say, I'm gonna do it, opportunities are here, you are going to find them. You are going to find the opportunities. They're going to come to you. You are going to make your way to them, and it's going to be an interaction.
All right. Can we just wait a bit, just as Sindiso reconnects? In the meantime, is there anyone else who'd like to share some feedback on their experience with this? It'd be really nice to get more feedback, I think. Just as we wait for Coach Sindiso to just finalize this completely, transformational experience, I think, for all of us. It has been. Anyone else like to share? I get to Anna. Chava. Coach, my coach.
Coach,
Yes.
my network has been breaking here and there, but I've seen the process. I think I just need to do the last part of it, and then. But so far, yeah, no, I repent. Yeah, it was enlightening, and just to see how we limit ourselves because of certain beliefs or certain things that we hold on to or we associate with. And then, yeah, I think it was a nice session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just as okay, I think Coach Sindiso is back. Thank you so much, Coach Maschala, for that feedback. Is there anyone else who'd like to share, maybe? As I officially hand over to Coach Sindiso to close.
Okay, sorry about that. My network was a bit unstable. Right, I think everyone has shared feedback. And by the sound of it, everything went well. We all embraced, you know, these different growth mindsets. Right. Okay. So in essence, just to close off, to make you aware of the takeaways for this session, is that there are mindsets that limit us. There are different mindsets that limit us, and they come from different things. And how people shared that, you know, it comes from how we were raised, it comes from how we've experienced life. And it also then goes to affect the people in our lives, those around us, in as much as it affects us and really, you know, impacts how we experience life. But there are also these growth mindsets that are out there, that are within our reach and that can be taught to us. There's different disciplines, like Upumlani said. And in this specific session, we are an NLP-based academy where we have different offerings and different programs where we really encourage these growth mindsets. I'll just simply show you a few things that we have coming up that are promoting of growth mindsets in different aspects. The first one is our Power Hour, which is a free hour that you get for a corporate company, a company that you have, where we come and based on the needs that the company has, we will then tailor make a Power Hour or a talk that we will then give to you and your employees or you and your team. So what happens with the Power Hour is that you have an assessment that you take, and based on your answers, that's when we tailor make that for your specific company and the needs within your company. For instance, there are companies that need change management. You know, there is a problem in the organizational culture, or there are problems in the organizational culture. Based on the assessment that is then taken, we then come and you know, do whatever it is that is needed in the organization. That's a Power Hour. Anyone who's in the corporate space or anyone who has you know, a company that they feel would really benefit from a Power Hour of some sort, that is an offering that we have. It is, of course, free of charge. And the idea behind it is, one, to synthesize people about NLP and the difference that it can make in the corporate space or in the executive space, but also to then open an opportunity for us to be able to come back and do more things that would be useful for that space. This is again now us operating from an opportunity space to say, okay, a corporate company is not just going to come to us and say, oh no, do NLP. We kind of have to put ourselves out there. And this is one of the ways that we are going on about it. Another one is our exclusive self-mastery growth workshop, which is happening on the 15th of July from 9 to 3 at 750 rands. I'm sorry about the noise if you guys are hearing that. This is happening on the 15th of July at 750 rands from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Something quite similar to this, but in there we really expand and we go deeper and deeper and deeper. I always say at the Subconscious Frequency Academy, we do that thing that the prophets are doing. We are going deeper with the men of God, with the ladies of God, with the NLP people. We are going deeper, Papa. This will be hosted by both Coach Thabiso and myself, and we will be going deeper, truly, truly in the essence of self-mastery, the essence of mastering your mindset, of mastering yourself. Again, we've said that this is where it all starts in the mind. So if you master your mind, you've ultimately mastered your life, right? This is exclusive in the sense that we are only taking 10 people for the self-mastery session. As you noticed today, we didn't have that much of a big group, so we were able to be intimate, and we're able to just really just be vulnerable. And it was easy to do that. With a bigger group, it's a bit harder to manage. So that's why we prefer to have an exclusive self-mastery space, right? Then, of course, we've got the Who, Not How by Coach Sindiso Mailula. He got a beautiful, beautiful feedback about his session, Who, Not How, being the most attended session at the NLP conference. He was there in May, if I'm not mistaken, and he got the highest attendance. So this is something that internationally was brilliant. They felt this was amazing and more people need to know about this, which is why he then decided to create a special workshop for people all over the world, of course, but particularly South Africa, to be able to experience Who, Not How, where you learn how to, set identity goals that speak to your higher self, which is in essence what we were trying to do today. How do you get to a point where you're operating in that mindset? If you're operating from a growth mindset, you're operating from your higher self. This is someone who believes that things are possible. This is someone who is driven. This is someone who, they see the higher picture. They see their opportunities. They see their abundance. They see how they can be an agent of change. This is the Who, Not How workshop that is happening on the 5th of August, 1,450, and it is limited to 12 people. Last but not least is the most life-changing course in the world, our full course, which some of you have done. And we've always gotten such amazing feedback from people who do our course, which is something that we also want to get into more corporate companies to be able to do executive training and so on. So basically, these different offerings are different ways that we've said, okay, there are people who want to, ultimately do the course, but currently can't afford. And so we want to do something that still equips them to operate from that place, a growth mindset. So we want to give them a taste now. We want to give them and empower them with knowledge that says, this is what you can start doing, this is what you can start being aware of. And these are things that you can start applying that help you really operate from a place of growth and a place of moving forward. How do you adapt and you're resilient in these ever-changing times? By changing your mindset. So yes, thank you all for joining. The recording is available for anyone who wants the recording, and hope to see you soon in one of our workshops or in our course. I trust that you had a lovely, lovely, lovely evening. I had a lovely one. Thank you for gracing me with your presence. Thank you for taking time and really just investing in yourself and investing in your mindset. There are links above that you can just click on to join our sessions. If you are unable to join here or to click on the link, please just let me know what you want to join, and I will then send you the link privately, or you can speak to Coach Sindiso. Right, hope you had a lovely one. Enjoy the rest of your evening and your weekend. Lots of love.
Thank you, Coach Sindiso.
You're most
Enjoy.
welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank
evening and
you.
weekend.
Thank you.